You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and falling over. It's been rightly said by Richard Branson, Virgin Group founder. So, good afternoon, everyone present here, and welcome to the today's session on Motivational Story by a Startup Founder. This session is being organized by Institutions Innovation Council 4.0 in collaboration with the Startup Cell of Meher Chand Mahajan DAV College for Women in order to foster the culture of innovation among the students by harnessing innovative ideas. Here, I would like to add that IIC at the rate MCM was established in the year 2018 with the aim to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students to work on new ideas. The IIC of our college also received 4-star rating for its activities undertaken during the year 2019-20, which speaks volumes about the commitment and dedication of its members. I, Dr. Manpreet Kaur, on behalf of our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Nisha Bhargava, President IIC, Dr. Indu Arora, Vice President IIC, and Dr. Kiran Jindal, Convener Startup Cell, extend a hearty welcome to our today's resource person, Mr. Paramdeep Singh Anand, CEO Field Assist, which is India's leading B2B sales automation platform. He is graduate in mechanical engineering from Vellore Institute of Technology. He founded his first startup in the FMCG space during his engineering days at the VIT campus, when even the word startup was not that cool. Today, with 16 plus years of extensive entrepreneurial experience, he feels that ecosystem is far more encouraging and fertile for risk takers, doers, and people who want to make a difference in the lives of people around the world. हमें वो नहीं मिलता जिसकी हम कामना करते हैं, हमें वो मिलता है जिसके लिए हम काम करते हैं. So in his thrilling and crazy journey of failures, frustrations, focus, and faith, he enjoyed every moment of building his bootstrapped startup to a $3 million company. So, not taking much time, let's dive into the motivational story of our today's resource person. So, now I request Mr. Paramdeep Singh to please take over the session. So, you can commence the session.
Thank you, Dr. Manpreet. Very warm and very amazing session. Start off for this. Thank you so much. I'm a bit overwhelmed. Thank you, MCM College and Institutions Innovation Council and all these team members and Principal Ma'am. Thank you for calling me again. Let me present my screen, and Dr. Manpreet, I will need your help in case any question comes up. Or
sure, sir. Yeah.
It's quite a fantastic strength we have at 66 people. In fact, I also have a relationship with the MCM college because my wife graduated from here.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So when I told her, then she didn't mention again that you need to be quite on top of your, motivating people over there. That's her alma mater. So I have another responsibility also here, extra one. Anyways, glad to be here. I'm just presenting my screen. So what kind of students do we have here? Like, what is the batch comprising of different streams?
So we have all commerce students here, final year, second year. Yes, sir. Basically commerce students.
Okay, great. So to begin with, I might be showing something which I will take the feedback from all the students over here, and I wish that all of you somehow just grab pen and paper just to take some notes, because on the way there could be some important key learnings I'll be sharing with you so that you are able to recall, because I would really wish that you spend this next 1 hour taking something deep down with yourself, and that will be the success of the session. So your time is quite important for me as well. I'll do my best for this. Mm, Okay, so I believe that since all of you have joined here, so you are looking to get into entrepreneurship sooner or later, depending upon your mindset or your situation. But I'm really glad that so many people are interested into it, because it's not about just the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, it's also more about honing the skills, the entrepreneurial skills. So whether it's you end up being an entrepreneur or not, but the skill set which you would require, some of you may go for a job, some of you will start now itself in the colleges, just like I did. Some of you may take some more time because you have some responsibilities. So nothing right and wrong about it in entrepreneurship when you want to start up. It's more important to inculcate the entrepreneurial skills. Okay, but let me also get you some facts straight. Here is the truth. If you go through all the facts here, just notice what kind of feelings are getting born in you. Whatever the kind of emotion, the reaction, the feeling. So here I'm talking about 80% of entrepreneurs starting a business fail within the first 18 months. 50% startups fail after operating for 4 years. This is all the data I collected from online and so forth. Like 3 out of 10 new companies fail to survive for more than 24 months. Okay. Now this is data. If you go for the latest data also, you will find the similar statistics. Just take a pause over here. Okay. See this data, absorb it for a few seconds, write down whatever comes into your mind. Whether you are feeling excited about it, whether you are feeling a bit of scary data, risky, or you see to it that okay, this is good information for you to begin with, so that you are taking all the cautious measures. Just think about it just for next 30 seconds. Okay, note down whatever reactions are coming. It will be helpful for you. Okay, I'll move on with my story. Okay, so I'm a mechanical engineer. This is VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, and that's why I have a huge respect for the colleges, campuses. This is the college which inspired me also to become an entrepreneur. I was the first student graduate incubatee of VIT incubation cell, much like your innovation council, what you have today. I started in 2006, but the homework actually again in the second year of my engineering, just like you are first year, second year, third year students. The seed was sown in the second year when I came across the E-Cell or Technology Business Incubation Center at VIT. I started attending a lot of lectures, just like we're doing today. I started attending a lot of my time apart from academics was there to meet entrepreneurs, and that's how the seed was sown. And in 2005, when I got my job, which was in the final year of engineering, in the beginning of the engineering colleges, the placement starts happening. And I got a college campus offer from an MNC tried softwares, and I got the offer, and that's where the chancellor and the vice chancellor of my college, they were actually looking out that how can we make students as entrepreneurs. Is it a possibility? Today we talk about it a lot, we hear a lot today. A lot of campuses have this uh, opportunity, and students are starting up, especially the tech startups. So this was an opportunity which was given to me, that can this be done, is it possible? And if it is possible, then my institute was ready to give me a seed grant also. But if it doesn't work out, let's say, then I already have a job. So that was the premise. And that's how I started doing opportunity identification research, like which are the areas I can get into it. And that's where I remember Dr. Kalam's Vision 2020 book. In fact, I have been fan of him, Dr. Kalam. I first read the Wings of Fire of his book when I was in the first year of college. So this is also one thing you could take it, that reading lots of books or the biographies of successful people can really give you a good insights and also great motivation. Now, in his book Vision 2020, he mentioned something about the food processing sector, and that's how I jumped onto it. That okay, let me explore this. And this is, if you see a chemical engineering laboratory I have, and this is a sample of a juice which I was actually doing a lot of research in. I was looking to make a juice with the natural sweetener we today know it as stevia, and it was a ginger-based fruit drink based off natural sweetness stevia. And I used to do a lot of experiments in the chemical engineering laboratory. And I was doing a simultaneously mechanical engineering project, and my project actually got sanctioned by the vice chancellor himself, because otherwise in mechanical engineering I was facing some challenges because my area of interest was not automobile or thermal or nuclear energy, typical subjects. So I had chosen a subject because I wanted to prepare a proposal, a bankable proposal, so that just when I'm out of college, I'll go to the bank, present the proposal, and get my funding done. Funding at that time, of course, was a loan. It was not a funding of this sort what we get today. The VC funding was not in at all in the air. It was only about the loans and from the banks. Now, before that, I did a lot of preparation in my final year of engineering, and I actually forgot. I got so immersed into this thing that I actually forgot that okay, I also have a placement, because I think after 3 months of it, it was out of question that I'll be going for a placement. But I was so amused and so indulged in market research, in product development, and understanding the food technologies. So from a mechanical engineer, I became a food technologist. I acquired everything what I could in terms of knowledge by visiting lots of plants, because this is what I was looking forward to make a product out of it. And if you see this picture, this is a tie-up which I did with Punjab Agriculture University once I came from my college and once I graduated, because I wanted to do test marketing and trials and everything. So this is in Ludhiana. It's quite a famous university. So I was the first, you can say a private and academic partnership where we incubated a company here. Param Health, who started the test trials, do the knowledge transfer, and this is the product which was born out of it, which is the name is I'm Fresh. And if you relate the name I'm Fresh with the, let's say, a food product, it is quite natural. It goes with it. It's a natural food product or a food-based drink. It's fresh uh, flavor into it. But the reason I named it as I'm Fresh, it was basically Paramdeep saying myself was a fresher into the entrepreneurship. I was just a fresher out of college. I was a fresher into food technology and business. I didn't know anything much, but with a huge curiosity, I came out in this, and that's why the name I'm Fresh, was born. So that was my thought behind naming it I'm Fresh. Now, moving on, this is a small plant which I had in nearby Chandigarh. That's why I'm a person who was born in Chandigarh and studied in till DAV College in Sector 10, and then after that I moved on for my engineering degree. And I was quite sure, about my engineering, whether I would be doing it, anywhere in the country, but this is what I want to do. I was quite sure about it from the seventh or eighth standard itself. And if you see, look at it, this particular plant. Now, the one major challenge which came to me initially was that when you set up a fruit drink facility and you want to have a compliance setup of international level, plus all the safety standards and the quality and the scale, actually the plant cost goes really high. Okay, I could make it out at that point of time that I will not be able to arrange that kind of funds. So what I could do is using my some sources of engineering fabricators, as well as my mechanical engineering concept. I could make this a frugal innovation setup where the low cost automation was put into picture. So this is the whole process. If you go deep, it's a blending, it's a homogenizing, it's a pasteurizing, it's a filling, hot filling concept. Those things came into picture. And here itself, I saw an, a big challenge to be overcome. And also, I had taken a loan. So I was the first in the northern India to the SBI. I had taken a loan which was under CGT MSc scheme. That scheme was used to be collateral free loan. Of course, as a student, I didn't have any collateral to offer. Okay, and this building and this plant, I mean, the land was given because we had this. So my father had this, but he also told me that I have to take a loan from the bank for the working capital and the plant setup. So I took a loan of 25 lakhs at the age of 21, and that's where I came to know that how the real cash flow money works. You need to have profits, you need to pay to people, vendors, your creditors and your debtors, and you need to take money from the market also, and that's also a kind of an art. This was another product. So I had products, if you see the marketing point of view, it was a semi-urban, urban, and rural area products. So there's a packaging of 5 rupees, a packaging of 10 rupees, and the 1 liter packaging and all that stuff. And I used to visit a lot of fairs, expos of CII, consumer fairs across Punjab, whether it was Amritsar or Chandigarh, and or I have even visited to a lot of school fairs, school festivals, just to do a market research as well and do my sales as well. This is a very interesting picture. This is a person, I don't remember his name, but he had a shop in Ludhiana, Kumhar Mandi. This was quite nearby to Punjab Agricultural University, and for the first time I did my trial, test trials. I had a lot of, let's say, it was maybe about 50 cartons of juices, small cartons. You see at the background, you could see the glass bottles of I Am Fresh, and this is a fruit mandi, and this was one of the outlet where I visited first, and I remember this guy taught me a lot. How I was not a sales guy. I was a very shy guy, 21 years of age, and I had made a attempt to make a good quality product in collaboration with Punjab University. Now, the manufacturing and all was fine, but the thing has to be sold in the market and also need to have the feedback from the market. So this guy gave me 2, 3 very important lessons. One lesson he gave me that you need to improve on your packaging. Okay. So that was a real feedback from the market. The why I'm telling you about all this is that whether you have a service or you have a product idea in mind, it is very important to test it. And one of the test markets could be your own college. Taking a lot of advantage of your college. When I say college, your faculty, your professors, your friends. A lot of startups are born among the friends in the college. So the famous Flipkart startup was also a co-founding team, both the friends from IIT. Okay. Similarly, my other co-founders in my current setup, which I'll talk to you about later, they were also batchmates or hostel mates. This is one thing which definitely the students, you have a great competitive advantage, leverage, okay, to figure it out in your own friend circle, the co-founders as well, and for example, test market as well. Because I remember I used to deliver a lot of my fruit juices samples to the hostel area, boys hostel and girls hostel, and without any cost, I used to get a lot of market feedbacks that the taste wise or the price wise. So without spending a lot, the college area was my hotbed of market research, especially because it was a consumer product. Now, for you, it could be very much different, or whatever idea you may have, it could be different as market. But the idea I want to infuse is basically that as a student, you have a lot of advantages. You have a lot of advantages, access to market also. And as a student, you are basically a learner. No? So what happens is you will get a lot of support from your college maybe, and also from your parents. It could be quite easy because I want to do, because you are studying. For them, you are studying, and that's their responsibility that they'll make you study. They are paying for you. So you could also do certain experiments at a very low cost and discover your own internal strengths. Now, for this guy, the first thing he mentioned about the feedback. Second thing, when the first time I went to his shop, I was actually standing, behind, because there was a lot of there was a lot of crowd, huge rush was there, and I waited there for 20 minutes. And this guy said that, "Why are you here? What are you here for?" Of course, he said in Punjabi, "Okay, क्यों आए हैं थे?" And then I said that, "I wish to sell you this product." Then he said that, "Why are you not selling to me? Why are you standing there and not selling to me?" So this is one key thing which I learned that time, that you have to be vocal and you have to be like ask. You can't be standing aside and let people come to you, because I'm still an introvert guy. I was much more introvert at that time, but that prompted me actually to talk to him, and he introduced me to a lot of other retailers. Okay, a lot of other retailers, because of reference, because he just opened up, and then I also opened up, and daring to ask questions or daring to present yourself without having any judgment in mind and what people will say, or those kind of hesitations you need to overcome as an entrepreneur. This is something what you can listen. Yeah, and one tactical thing which he taught me was, he didn't pay me. Okay, he didn't pay me, and still this guy owes me about $5,000. Now that a tactical thing of sales which I got, that whenever you are selling something, because this guy gave me a very big order, I gave it to him, I delivered it to him, but he turned out to be a bad paymaster. And that's something which I learned also, that you need to be assertive in negotiation, and also asking for your own money one should not get shied away. Okay, so this is something so far in my journey. This is about 2006, and then next 7 years till 2013, I was running this business. So I was involved into each and every area and of a startup, and that's why when Dr. Manpreet mentioned, there were a lot of frustration and failures and the faith and the hope. I was getting into supply chain. I was into market. I was selling the product. I used to visit thousands of retailers. I visited personally, sold my product, with my own hands. Used to have my own Omni van where I used to get one helper with me, going around the markets of Kharar and Dera Basi and Mohali and Ludhiana, Jalandhar and Fagwada and Bathinda, everywhere. I used to go there, place my product, and then see how the sales are happening, and that's how I established the distribution network as well, brick by brick, one step at a time. Then the production area, I was getting deep into new product launches, new flavors. So I had to place my product in a way that there will be a competition, but I have to create a market for myself. What is the gap between? So the gap which I found was like there's a real juice market, and then there was a soft drink market. So I had to get myself somewhere inserted between, because I could figure it out. People want healthy choices, like apart from soft drinks, but they are not able to afford it. So that's the reason, I that's the reason I placed my product into this. But this knowledge itself did not came on the very first day. It took me about 18 months to crack this. That's why a lot of failures were there, but then there was a lot of faith and hope that, okay, this is the market. And all that happened not by just thinking and contemplating, falling in love with my idea. All that happened because I was on the field, and that's how I used to get a lot of kick, talking to the real consumer, real customer. And everybody used to say earlier, and for example, in the college, everybody used to say, fantastic product, like this is going to sell huge. You're becoming a good entrepreneur. We're really proud of you. But when you go to the market actually, and then you figure it out, how many of them are actually ready to pay for your product? So free is always good, right? There's no harm in uh, having free samples or free stuff. But when you ask the consumer, that this is the price of the product, Are you willing to pay, or will you pay? That's where you would figure it out. A lot of people are not ready to pay, because then they see the value. They may not have a need, or they may say that this is not the value what they are seeking, or they may have hesitation. Then you have to come up with your marketing techniques, influencing techniques, and how this is better, or how this is cost effective, whatever, whatever your proposition is. And that's how the knowledge of all the areas. So as an entrepreneur, I would say that it's very, very important that you do not fall in love with your idea. You have to be critic of your own idea, and then you have to test it out, and also the knowledge of the allied functions. Okay, so in my current startup, or earlier also, so I was looking after production, I was looking after marketing, sales, supply chain, product management, as you say, R&D, and liaising with the government departments, understanding the laws, compliances, finance. Now, all that stuff, I was not really an expert into everything, but I had a knowledge of each of these things, and more importantly, I was able to connect to make it as a business model, and I was able to understand how each thing is affecting and how each thing is interconnected. Now, you may have a fantastic product, but if your pricing strategy is not right, you know consumers are not going to buy. You may have a fantastic product, you have a right price, but if your placement is not right, they talk about 4 P's in the marketing. Okay, so 4 P's are the promotion, placement, product, and price. These 4 P's are there in the marketing. If you don't have that right, you know, you'll take a hit. If you do not have a positive cash flow cycle, then again, you may have a fantastic product, but you may not have a money uh, to actually serve the needs of your customers, or pay your people, pay your vendors. I was in a huge crunch, in the very first year. So I was into losses in first 18 months, pure losses. Uh, but I could figure it out why I was in loss, where I was overspending. So that acumen of finance, and then acumen of sales, acumen of marketing, because this was my forte of engineering, or my technical bent of mind. The product, I could figure it out how to make it, though it was very difficult also. I had to collaborate with a lot of food scientists and a lot of industries I had to visit, but that was something I was really enjoying, and that was something really at the core of it, like an inventor, science student, I was enjoying it. But other aspects, the marketing, finance, sales, I was not very enjoying them. It could be different for you. Some of you could be very good marketers, but the product development part may not be your forte. You are all commerce students, so your finance angle would be very strong. Comparatively, you'll be comfortable with any other engineer coming. So you have that inherent advantage. And if you see, by the way, take it from me, I was talking to one of the uh, CFOs in the industry. A lot of CFOs make very good CEOs, all because of their business and financial acumen. Okay, that's a one piece. So don't get bothered if you're listening a lot of stuff from an engineer. Don't get bothered about it. Entrepreneurs can come from anywhere, any stream in the world. You could be any. So don't get locked down, bogged down, or belief any limiting belief that since you are from a specific background. Okay, so yeah, so these were some lessons up to this part of my journey. The next part of the journey happened because I never wanted to be into Paramount Foods for a lifelong career. The main important challenge which I had was, can this be done? Can a student become an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur? In fact, I had in mind, a dream, you could say, or a desire to do an MBA. I was quite, in my college days, I had figured it out that, okay, an MBA is something I wish to do. But I wanted to do an MBA not with any loan, or not with my parents' money. So again, it's a self-imposed challenge that I will do an MBA once I make money out of my first venture, like being profitable, and then from there I will do an MBA. And exactly that happened. Okay, but I wanted to do an MBA from some other college. I couldn't make it. I flunked. I failed. My marks were miserable. Okay, and I could realize myself that after 6 years out of touch of studies, and that kind of a rigor, and meanwhile you are running a manufacturing enterprise, may not have happened. But whatever happened happens for a good reason. I ended up in a college in Gurgaon. It's known as School of Inspired Leadership. And that's how I came to Gurgaon. I shifted my base with my wife. I was married early in life at 25. I shifted my base from Mohali to Gurgaon, and we started with a 1 BHK apartment rented out. And I was a student. I became a student. It was a lovely feeling to be a student again. And in fact, a lot of role in my entrepreneurial journey has been from finance angle. One of the professor of finance, while he was teaching me in college. So after 3 months, I could realize that I was enjoying it, but at the same time, I could make it out a lot of it is non-entrepreneurial. What we are learning, it's too much of theory, and it's too much of concepts which could be applied to the bigger organizations, not to the startups. So my whole mindset and among the people there, like 90% of them or 95% of them were professionals. They were from different backgrounds. They had 1 year, 2 year experience. Engineers, software engineers, commerce graduates, arts graduate. None of them had any idea about what a startup is. So when I went through it, in one of the lectures of an accounts professor, he was a finance professor. He taught the concept about, you must have heard of it, about opportunity cost. What opportunity cost was, I could make it out that, and the sunk cost, opportunity cost versus sunk cost. So I could see that I'm not that enjoying an MBA, but I invested my money into it, some portion of it, and there's an opportunity cost, which is I still have to invest more money into an MBA for next 9 months. I was in the dilemma, I've invested this much, let's continue and finish it off. But I was not enjoying it from my heart and was feeling that this is not something my calling is. I can't articulate it that well, but you could figure it out. It's maza nahi aa raha. I'm not getting that delight. And in fact, in the college, I'm more than learning, I was actually teaching over there. I was a part of every damn case study being taught in every class. Okay, how do you manage budgets? How do you manage pricing? How do you manage competition? How do you manage convincing people, retailers to place your product? So I thought, okay, this is a good concept which gave me. I remember it was in the mid of July, 6 p.m. Finance lecture. I came to know about sunk cost and opportunity cost, and then the next day morning, I went to the CEO of the institute and I told her this is not happening, and so that's why finance is a great thing that professor taught me from commerce. It was not also about the money part. It was also about, when you say opportunity cost or sunk cost, it is also about the time part. A lot of times what we happen, we have invested something in already, and then we just linger it on, we just carry it on because we feel that we are already in there. So in stock market you will see this phenomena very much. In stock market, people keep on holding to your loss making stocks in the hope that this will change, and now it will start going up and down. Now that's where you need to take a call. So this concept is very helpful because the time is money also. Spending my more time over there may not have given me the space, may not have given me that networking effect which I did once I dropped out from MBA. Once I dropped out from MBA, then I started meeting people, a lot of entrepreneurs in Gurgaon area. I started again from the scratch. I didn't had anything. The technology, I'm not a coder. I didn't knew, because coming from very industrial background, manufacturing background, to a tech hub. Gurgaon is a hub.
Um, yes, girls, I think there is some technical connectivity issue on the side of a speaker. So he will be joining soon, and we will be having a group photograph also. Okay, we will be having. So as I will be joining right now, we'll be having a group photograph, girls. So you'll have to click on, switch on your cameras also.
Am I audible now, Dr. Valpreet?
Yes, sir. I think there was some connectivity issue. No
Yeah.
problem. And sir, we want to have one group photograph also.
Right now?
Yeah, in between the session, we can have one photograph.
Okay.
So I request all the girls to please switch on your cameras also. Girls, switch on your cameras.
Yes, I'm done taking the photos. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sir, you can start.
Okay,
You
thank you.
can continue.
Let me present the screen again. Okay. So now this was 2013 when I had joined an MBA, but then soon I dropped out. And about for 6 to 7 months, I was just wondering what to do next. But I thoroughly enjoyed that period also for the reason that there are many things I did which I was not able to do before. During my very early age, like 21, I was into entrepreneurship. I didn't had any friends network, much of it, not enjoyed life like the usually people do. And I must say that one should do. It's not about you should be fully involved. It's also very important aspect. But then this is where this current startup of mine happened. Field Assist. Field Assist, just to tell you about it, it is one of the largest in the country, which is helping out a lot of FMCG products with their sales automation tool. Now we enable these companies. For example, these are the companies which we are working with. All of these must be known to you. They're quite famous, quite big, multi crores. Now, when we started with them, we were like just one. We were like 5 people, and just one client. And today, in the last 80 years, we are now more than 500 brands who are in our kitty. We are doing more than $3.5 million in revenue. We have a team of about 160, 170 people, okay, which consists of technology, product management, marketing, sales, customer success, finance, everything. Now here, what we are actually doing is it's a mobile application. Okay, this mobile application is given to in the hands of sales guys. The sales people, if you see, let's say in sector 36, there are so many confectionery shops. If you see the product of, let's say, Haldiram or Del Monte or Everest Spices or Bicano chips, you will see that person is coming with a field assist application. So we have actually digitized all the pen and paper work, which usually was being done, and a very unproductive way, very inefficient way, which was done since ages. Since the FMCG companies are there and the sales people are in the market, they have to do their daily stock report, daily sales report. Everything was on pen and paper, and very inefficient method. And in the competitive environment, the data analytics part is very, very critical. The analytics. So we collect the data through the salespeople, we increase their efficiency, and through that data, the companies are able to predict which product, which SKU, at which outlet, in which sector, which route, which city, should be placed, and what are our sales pan India. The click of a button. Like say Haldirams, we are working with, there are 5,000 salespeople. Now, at the end of the day, they have all the real-time intelligence in their hands, which earlier used to take months. Now it is all digitized. Now they know exactly where their product is failing, which product is failing. They have 500 SKUs, stock keeping units, so 500 products, packaging, and everything, all the ranges. together. This is kind of a revolution. And after recession, in fact, last 2 years we have done a lot of work and lots of work in terms of acquiring clients and making very deep product verticals. I'll not go much into it now. You can, and you must, come to our website www.feedlesses.in. Explore also the area of SaaS, SaaS, software as a service industry. It's $1 billion industry now in India and going to be $1 trillion industry in next 10 years. So must have these terms, technology things in your knowledge and do search about it. And coming back to the some more entrepreneurial lessons. There are many ways people start. There are many ways people start. Many reasons of starting an idea, coming up with an idea to start a company. These are the few examples I could figure it out. Some people are looking for freedom. Some, as a customer, somebody was angry, somebody was suffering from something, and then they started, okay, let me do this. A lot of entrepreneurs you would see in India and outside India also, that they were doing something, they stumbled upon a thing, either they are near and dear ones. For example, somebody in the pollution sector, a common friend, he started making filters, air purifiers, filters, because his mother actually was diagnosed with the disease, and respiratory issue was there, and it was mainly because of the pollution. So that guy started this from that inspiration. So there could be millions of things. It is not always generally what is being told. It's about the money part, or it's about making $1 billion valuation, getting VC funding. So those are all things which media says, because they're all something which people get attracted to. But if you see behind it, that person did not started a company usually for money. Okay, that is one of the outcome. He started because there was something deep he could connect with, and then build a product or service around it to help more and more people in his way. And also keep in mind, side by side, as I mentioned in the very beginning, that having an eye of becoming an entrepreneur is a fantastic thing you could do, because it will give you a lot of opportunities to wherever you are. So jobs are also a fantastic thing to do. There's nothing against it. Okay, but the way you conduct a job, you could be intrapreneurs, if not entrepreneurs. Intrapreneurs is a term you can search. Intrapreneurs is having all the skills of an entrepreneur, but within a corporation. And then today you see a lot of companies, they have their own startup culture in the company, and they look for such leaders or such ex-entrepreneurs, and they give them a very good position, very good packages, and very good freedom and respect. So again, I'll say that, reiterating, be very focused on acquiring the skills of an entrepreneur. Then you may turn out to be an entrepreneur whenever you wish to. But still, acquiring it will take you to a very, will be giving you a lot of competitive edge. Okay. Now, what happens next is, as I mentioned before, do not fall in love with your idea. So, for example, this is a company, this is a Clipart, Anderson and Sons. They're saying, eventually, I'm assuming it means, it only makes sense, right? Because you fall in love with your idea, then you figure it out. Okay, this all looks, good. Generally, if you see, at the age, young age, the girls and boys, meet each other, you generally say, yeah, best guy for me or best girl for me. Now, we do get blindsided. Then we know each other better, spend time. What do? You spend time, you come to know each other better. Similarly, with your idea, you meet other people, have a say on your idea. How do you feel about it? Because that is where a lot of entrepreneurs actually fail. These are some of the reasons I could mention. Why do they fail? So that you do not commit that, mistake. Get it validated. And second thing could be, as I mentioned, somebody thinking that his idea or her idea is unique. It could be, but it's not something which can take you very far. In fact, you should assume that this idea is not something very unique. But matter is that how do you execute it? All your Starbucks was not the first coffee chain, in the world. There were many before them, but Starbucks is known for it now. Google was not the first search engine. Okay, YouTube was not the first video search engine. They were all seconds or thirds, but they make it big. How? It was all about execution. You have millions of ideas, but all ideas do not see the light of the day, or they are not, or they are poorly executed. That's where the entrepreneur thing comes. For E for execution, E for entrepreneur. Execution is the key thing. The action is the key thing, which will make you success or fail. But whatever, you need to be in action to figure it out what is working or is not working in the millions of ideas. Another important thing which you could figure it out is your innovation idea a vitamin or a painkiller? There's another way of looking at your idea. So something vitamin your target consumer should buy, painkillers will buy. So for example, in India like market, we do pay for painkillers. We may have different types of painkillers at home, but we do not generally are consuming a lot of supplements or nutrition supplements or vitamins. Both are important, both have their role, but if you are able to figure it out which way I want to place my product, the whole scenario or the whole system changes, the business model changes when you are selling a vitamin and when you're selling a painkiller. The cost, the price, the production, everything changes. This is another angle I wanted to give to you, so that you can see through this angle also about your idea and execution, because your target market will change. Now, about the ideas when you're figuring it out, this is something which Dhirubhai Mani mentioned. Think big, think fast, think ahead. Most importantly, ideas are no one's monopoly. Okay, so as I mentioned, you may be having a unique idea, you may not be having a unique idea. It doesn't matter, because ideas are no one's monopoly. Sitting here today, we can think of millions of ideas at home, but what then? And we have this tendency also. We are thinkers. It's fine, but the point is, to be an entrepreneur, you have to act fast, think big, scalable ideas. There are different types of entrepreneurs. Even let's say in your canteen, there's a guy who's running the canteen is also a entrepreneur, a chai wala, you can say. And there's another entrepreneur who's running a chayos, as a nationwide big retail network. He's also an entrepreneur. You also need to figure it out. What do you want to become? So generally, scale matters. If your scale is there, then you actually impact with your idea is like a million times. Think of the scale always as an entrepreneur, not just end up as a self-employed. Think big. This is what I wish to convey. There are various things. These are some of the things like MVPs we call, minimum viable products. For example, in this situation, the major need is to transport goods from point A to B. Now, that from transporting goods from point A to B can happen with the first model itself, the first model on the left-hand side. This is good enough to transport. You don't have to build the model number 4. Initially, you can always improvise. You can always improve upon your idea, but start, small and fail fast and learn rapidly. That is the one thing. So sometimes people say that, okay, I need 1 crore rupees to start. Think, how can you start with 1 lakh rupees? And see to it whether you want this much of a money for what. You may want it for a lot of people hiring, or you want a product which you want to make it a very, very classy. You may not have to do that. So generally people think that I have a resource constraint, but the best entrepreneurs, they come out of this resource constraint because they had to think innovatively and they actually make it big. For example, we at Field Assist as a company, we have been bootstrapped, and I purposely kept it bootstrapped. Bootstrapped is another word which especially the finance guys, you should have it in mind and read about it. Bootstrapping is what? And in a limited means how you are able to sustain your company in a limited resources, because that's where it makes you think very good, that your innovation, the frugality of it comes into kick. And then you also call it as sometimes jugaad also, but that jugaad need not be scalable. No, the jugaads are not scalable, but they are doable, and it will make sure that, okay, your idea, what it was intended to do, is it working out or not? Is somebody going to buy this jugaad also or not? Now, if somebody is saying I will buy a jugaad, but I'm ready to pay this much for it, get me all these things more, then I'll definitely buy it. That gives you a validation of your idea. This is what I want to say. Also, moving forward, there will be a lot of phases: an excitement phase, a curiosity phase, and then there will be a dip, and then there will be success. So this is something which you should be very much aware of. कि ये होगा, this is going to happen. And this dip, right now I made just one single dip. There will be like multiple dips and multiple highs will come. Many times things will not go the way you wanted. Okay, but you keep on doing it. But the reason of it, why do you want to do it? It could be any damn reason in the world, but that reason, if you are able to figure it out, why did you start it? You started for X, you started for Y, you started for Z. Whatever could be reason: freedom, being your own boss, making a money, whatever may be the reason. But if you are very clear on it, why are you starting up? And of course, it has to be more of, we can discuss more in the theory of motivation, whether it's a hygiene factor or whether it's an intrinsic motivation. Hygiene factor could be, which generally comes about money part. Intrinsic factor is you really want to serve and you feel that what you have got can benefit a lot of people. Or intrinsic factor could be, I want to be my own boss, or I want to do certain things in a certain way because I'm quite independent in doing things. It could be any reason. But knowing it is very important, so that when you are in the phase 2 of the dip, you are able to come out of it. Okay. And there you will need that intrinsic motivation a lot. So you have to come out of it. And that's one important thing you can note it down. In an entrepreneur journey, do a journaling. Do you understand journaling? Keep on writing. The one thing which I told you to do it in the beginning, it was write down your emotion when you saw those statistics of failures. That is something, if you keep on doing it now, you'll be able to have much more clarity. That's also not about entrepreneur. Anybody in this world should do it. It will give you a lot of clarity why you are doing what you are doing, and it will give you the clarity of decision making. Understanding yourself better. At times you are very happy, you are very excited. At times you are very sad. Why? When you are happy, then also one should ask, why I am so happy? How can I replicate this happiness? How can I design this happiness to be scalable? And how can I prevent my miseries or my sadness? A lot of things happen by accident, but if you are conscious about it, you can design, because the entrepreneurs design their company to be successful. It does not happen by chance. There will be strokes of luck. Okay, that's also one thing which comes when you have that beginner luck kind of a situation, when you are more curious, you are humble, you are just absorbing a lot from everywhere. You are not arrogant. So that beginner's luck happen, and there will be many strokes of beginner's luck. But you can't survive. You can't just living things upon chances. So you design it. In order to design your success, you need to know why you are successful, what is working, what is not working. So journaling helps a lot. So this is a quote by Seth Godin. Then I'll read, or let me read it for you. We know what you want to accomplish. The real question is, what are you willing to push through the dip for? What are you willing to stand up for, bleed for, commit to, and generally be unreasonable about, because that's what's going to actually get done. Okay, I love this. Now, one last thing, and then I'll open it up for question and answers. One last thing. Don't take your failures personally. More importantly, don't take your successes also personally. कभी खुशी कभी गम लगा रहेगा. Okay, that's part and parcel of life. But not to take it personally is a very, very important thing. And as a society also, I think this is something needs to be much more taught to the kids, to the students. Responsibility of parents, responsibility of teachers, responsibility of people like me, that we need to teach people, don't take things personally. Because there's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. So, Many of you and senior teacher faculty members must have experienced this. When you don't take things personally, then there's a choice you have. You have a freedom, and the kind of decision making happens, or the kind of choices you make, it's far better, gives you far more confidence, gives you far more chances of success. Okay, so here I'll stop. Okay, thank you for being a very patient listener. Let me now attend to the questions you may have. I'm open for that.
Yes, girls, if you have any questions, as we are open for the question answer round now, so you can type on the chat box.
You can type, you can raise your hands.
So there is one question, sir. Shall I read?
Yeah, Tanisha, I can read that.
Okay.
Okay, interesting, Tanisha. According to the data presented, it showed little success rate in entrepreneurship. Why would you choose it rather than the other options like MBA, banking, etc.? Okay, I would say why not? Who can ensure that if I choose an option like MBA or a banking, I'll be successful? Who can ensure that? Nobody can. It's upon me only, right? It's all upon me. So the important thing is everybody wants to be successful, right? The way you want to be successful, that's important. Some people want to take it MBA route and be successful. Some people want to take a banking route and be successful. Some people want to take an exploration route. Some people want to take entrepreneurship route. It's all individual choices. So if you ask me, going by the data, I should not have chosen this. I think the data was very helpful for me so that I was very much aware that what I'm getting into. So I'm better prepared. Now, somebody who wants to get onto the top of the Mount Everest, right, Tanisha? What are the success rate? What are the chances that person will conquer Mount Everest? Very minute, minuscule. But still people go and conquer Mount Everest. I think that's where the answer lies. If all statistics are given, one should not go to Mount Everest. It's a damn hard condition, but still somebody went and did it and opened up the channels for a lot of many people to come up and do this. They wanted to do this. I think that's where the answer lies. There's nothing wrong and right about it. There's no judgment about it. Many people, whichever way they want to take it up. But according to data, the interpretation can be this. Again, it's a famous quote. One, you see a half glass full, or you see half glass empty. It's your perception to see it. Both are right. I hope I'm able to give a satisfactory answer, Tanisha. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Let me know more questions you may have.
Dear students, you can please put forward your queries.
Okay, Tanisha, there's another question. How big should the sample survey be? This again, no right and wrong answer to it. Depend upon the product and the service you want to make it. Could be 100 people also could be sufficient if your geographical limits are like that. And even 10,000 people may not be sufficient. So that has to be seen that what is their idea, what is their innovation. Is it something with a niche area, or it's for masses? This has to come from that angle. I would suggest you to read a book, to read everybody a book. Email. If you read this book, you will get a lot of your practical answers to a lot of questions. It's a very famous book, E-Myth. Yeah, Tanisha, you're right. But your production costs will increase. But if it is necessary to do that survey, which will ensure the chances of success, then you do it. Of course, it is interrelated.
Yes, any other question, girls?
I would also suggest find me on LinkedIn. If how many of you are on LinkedIn? If not, you better be on LinkedIn ASAP. Start making your profile on LinkedIn. It's something which damn important. You can't miss out on this. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I keep posting things. You can read my previous posts also. You may find more insights into entrepreneurship.
Sir, Alankriti has raised her hand. She might be having a
Yes.
question to ask. Alankriti, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Ma'am, actually, I don't have a question. I just raised hand because the sir asked that who is on
For the
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn part.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful session. Otherwise, it was. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, girls. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we will starting a vote of thanks then. Okay, sir. So it was really an enriching session. You have really given a deep insight of your startup journey. Like one quote is also coming into my mind. It's of Walt Disney that the way to get started is to quit talking and just start doing. So thanks a lot, sir. And for the formal vote of thanks, I would request Dr. Ashdeep Kaur to please extend a formal vote of thanks to our today's resource person, Mr. Paramdeep Singh. Dr. Ashdeep, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Startups have always been hard. Even when you think you are putting in your best, it may not be enough to pull it off. Truthfully, most people fail. But don't give up on your dream just yet. If you really believe that you have something amazing to share with the world and there is a market for it, go for it. As Mr. Paramdeep Singh has already explained through his motivational story with all of us. I, Dr. Ashdeep, would like to extend my gratitude to our honorable resource person, Mr. Paramdeep Singh, to take out time from his busy schedule to grace today's event. Sir told about knowledge of finance, sales, marketing, 4 P's, that is product, price, place, and promotion, are very important to become an entrepreneur. Sir has very well explained that we need not only to love our idea but also be a critic of our idea. He has also described an entrepreneur must think big, think fast, and think ahead because ideas are no one's monopoly. He told the aspiring entrepreneurs to write your strengths and weaknesses, any positives or negatives in a diary. Thank you, sir, for inspiring and encouraging all of us with your motivational words. A special thanks to Dr. Nisha Bhargav, Principal and President IIC, for providing immense support to make this webinar successful. I also extend my gratitude to Dr. Indu Arora, Vice President IIC, and Dr. Kiran Jindal, Convener Startup Cell, to organize this webinar. I must thank Dr. Manpreet Kaur and Ms. Manmeet Kaur for coordinating and making this webinar successful. Thank you everyone once again for making this webinar a great success. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Wish you all the best, all the students. Keep in
Sure,
touch.
sir. Looking forward for the future sessions also.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Principal, ma'am. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, girls, you can leave the session now. Principal.